March 11th, 2017, 6-year anniversary of the Fukushima disaster. This video is called Fukushima, One Step Forward, A Million Steps Back. And this is exactly what their step is. I can't believe Google hasn't taken these images off yet. But it's basically they're putting a building around the original reactors. This is building 1, number 1 right here. The reason why TEPCO is putting these buildings around the original ones is because they're starting to fall apart. They need to shore up the destroyed old buildings. Look at this. It's just a bunch of rubble in here. That is the purpose of putting these buildings around. They're starting to fall apart. Especially since if they have a lot of earthquakes over there and they get a pretty nice one, these things are going to just crumble. And that's the reason why they have them. Now they're ejecting concrete covering the ground to cover up the radiation. This is where their stupid logo used to be, right over here. I actually call them TEPGLO instead of TEPCO. So basically, Fukushima is right over here. The point of showing this area of Fukushima with the ocean currents. Now you can go to it too. Here's the website, earth.nullschool.net. What I wanted to point out is that Fukushima is basically a conveyor belt of death. Now these are the ocean currents, and I would imagine they do fluctuate some, but I'm pretty sure this is how the radiation is being pushed towards the west coast of the United States. Now here is where Fukushima is. And if you look at the current, and basically it pushes it straight out. Look, it goes right straight to Hawaii and cruises towards the west coast of the United States. Now this is not good news for the dispersion of the radiation, because basically you have about 300 to 400 tons of radioactive water a day that's coming through the plants, going through the basement and going into the ocean. And who knows how much actually they're dumping actually into the ocean. I actually think Japan believes dilution is the solution. So when they have highly radioactive water that is legally not allowed to be dumped into the ocean, I just believe that they add more water to it to dilute it to get down to that level that they deem safe, and then it just gets dumped into the ocean anyways. If you follow these currents, once it gets and hits over here, it becomes fast and it gets picked up, and you could follow these currents out, and basically it's all getting pushed towards the west coast. That's why I call it the conveyor belt of death, because that's basically exactly what it is. If you see, it all just keeps getting mixed up and eventually it gets dispersed throughout the whole world. Eventually it makes it all the way over here. I bet in Hawaii it would not be good to be swimming around those islands. And this is actually making it gets pushed up over here and it just starts settling in. So it's not good news for the planet at all. Now if you go to the Google Earth Pro, this is very interesting, the view I found. Now I found a reason why it's so messed over there. If you look at the buildings, they had nuclear explosions in these things. There's nothing left of them. This is unit number 3, this is unit number 2, and this is unit number 1. If you look in the distance over there, there's 5 and 6. Now, can you imagine the Fukushima 50 that tried to save Japan, which is what they did? Now, this is totally ridiculous if anybody thinks that there is nothing wrong with this place. Everything's wrong with this place. Now, in Unit 2, right here, TEPCO found a gaping hole in a grate underneath the containment vessel. The hole could have been caused by melting fuel penetrating the vessel. The actual condition of the melted fuel is unknown because the radiation is too high to get inside the building. Now, new record radiation levels have been recorded in unit number 2. Now, the reading means a person could die from even brief exposure. That's why no one has gotten into the building yet. This highlights the difficulty dismantling all these 3 reactors. Now, TEPCO is slowly releasing bits of information to the public. We have basically China syndromes in full throttle. The molten core appears spread over in it, and the extensive area workers are probing underground water below the plant to find the molten cores. It's like trying to find a needle in a million haystacks. Now, eventually, collapse is imminent at Fukushima. Officials found a large section under the reactor to be unstable, about to collapse. Parts inside the reactor are no longer there. Now, rather than informing us, they're treating us like a piece of toilet paper. Fukushima is literally the largest shit stain on the planet, and it's about time we flush TEPCO and Shinzo Abe down the toilet where they belong. This is totally ridiculous, and it's about time someone actually steps in there and does something, because all we're getting is dead fish, dead people, and a dead planet. All because this unknown spot that nobody even understands what's going on over there, when this is the conveyor belt of death. This is what's happening, and the radiation is flowing right back to the United States. And remember, they're burning debris as you read this. And you know where it's ending up? In fallout. It's coming down in the rain on you. Now, I'm actually in the middle of Reactor Unit 2. I'm looking up at the sky now. But for the amount of time that I just told you that, I would be dead. There's so much radiation in that building. I'm pretty sure maybe it's possible that they're using Google Earth to train to see how maybe they're going to tackle some stuff at Fukushima, which is a good idea. If I was actually inside that building for the amount of time that I just told you that, I'd be dead. I'd be probably melted away. That's the amount of radiation coming out of that building. I don't think that they know what to do and they don't want to panic. But you know what? It's beyond panic time. Now it's kind of like, tell us the truth. What the hell's going on over there? It's beyond giving nuclear a bad name. This is actually doing some pretty harmful stuff to the planet and even the nuclear shells. Radiation kills everybody. It does not discriminate against anything.